I mean, because we met at like All About Music. And it was like my first year where I was there, and
my first year also.
Your first year also.
Yeah, my first year also. I've not been before, and I've not been after also.
After
actually.
also, yeah. So I've been going there like since like a while. Abhi पिछले साल भी गया था, इस साल भी गया था. But what I realized is the first year, the kind of people I met, you and other people were like super like.
Yeah. That was a lot of like, I mean, just meeting and networking with those people was a great experience.
Did help you.
Great experience.
So how do you think the business is like going forward? Like there are multiple music conferences we are a part of. There are multiple PR agencies. There are multiple studios. There are music distributors coming up who distribute indie music, pop music and stuff. What do you think about how is the scene going to look like for you? Like in your eyes, 5 years down the line this can happen, or this can be this, because 5 years before we couldn't have seen like a Hanuman kind getting bigger.
Not at all. I feel independent music is just booming right now. Yeah. I mean, it's a great time to be in the scene now. But because before you couldn't. Before, even 5 years before, I had to like really Google to distribute like a song of mine. So like I don't know, I can mention brands, na?
Yeah, you can
so like that. I mean, I subscribe to DistroKid, which I still do. So that is what happening. But now you have so many Indian distributors to do that. You don't have to go through a label. Like, you don't need to do it's like a small subscription fee that you give to distribute your music. So it's so approachable now. Even in 5 years, like, it's just like earlier that, you have to go through a film and all that. That's not any kind of barrier anymore, I feel, for musicians.
So, but let me ask you this: when you were a kid, how did you think about like music distribution and music business? What did you think?
I think I was clueless.
You were clueless.
I was clueless about it. As a kid, I mean, I started 10 years back producing, which is, I think, I got a FL Studio 2012 and all that.
But like all of us.
Like all of us, yeah. So, I mean, I was clueless, like how I will put my music on Apple or Spotify
or other DSPs.
Any kind of like distribution channel. But yeah, I mean, it's so easy right now to just record, make it at home, man. You don't need a studio. Just make it at home and just anyone can be a musician. But yeah, like, I mean, there are pros and cons also to that. But I like how it's becoming easy. Yeah, and then comes the marketing part of it, which is to there.
Yeah, which is the hardest to like.
I mean, anyone to crack marketing and all that, PR. That is to everyone to like like everyone, like any creative person is like now becoming content creator
to get there.
So that's of course like that.
They are like opening all their cards in front of people to get there, and they don't realize how brands are built, because like I did a course personally, brand building from there's this London Business School ka course from Coursera. It's not that big, but they told me your brand is mostly your internal employees. And if you play nowadays, what people do is they are very open with everything.
Yeah.
So when you're very open with everything, your internal brand is automatically destroyed, because your employees also know things that they should not know. Do you get what I'm trying to say? And they start to respect you less. So even though you're selling more, but the respect and the recognizability or maybe the recall value is less. So you must have seen people who are less on social media are appreciated more now.
Yeah.
And a lot of Gen Z people are like very extreme. Somebody who is on social media, who is a Gen Z or Gen Alpha now, Gen Alpha is going to post all day on Snapchat.
Yeah.
And let's say if somebody is not, even if he's a Gen Z and Alpha, and if he's not on social media, so he's not even on WhatsApp. This is the case with nowadays.
I mean, we are getting the anti-social media people
now, because social media is so heavy, and while it did bring brands to a certain level, it did get easy.
There is now a saturation for sure. For sure.
So that's why like the threads are like on and you know things are on. But how do you think like social media? This is segue by the way. How do you think like social media has helped you carve like, because I still know like still people tell me, I was just telling you that I do, people think I do nothing, you know.
Yeah.
But how do you think social media helps in getting recognized and helps in like putting yourself out there, even if you don't do music?
Even if I don't, but the thing is, social media, however, whatever the pros and cons are, however saturated a market is, it is still essential.
It's still a market.
I mean, even though you don't post, I don't use Facebook anymore, but it's not like people aren't using it.
Yeah.
So, I mean,
a lot of chairs are bought on like Facebook.
Yeah, like now, so Facebook has become a marketplace. So that's the thing. But yeah, I mean, anything like Instagram or Twitter or whatever. But yeah, it's like, it's a place to be aware. And
kind of lost its purpose now.
It's lost its purpose, but it's good for, of course, to let people know that, okay, I'm doing something, like I'm a musician, I've put something out, okay? People deke nahi deke wo alag baat hai.
That is on them.
That is on them, but at least and like there are good ways to promote on it also. So it's very, I mean, I'm sure it's a very essential part for sure. I can't say it's not essential, however we badmouth it or whatever, or however bad it is.
Or maybe because we are experiencing it constantly, that's the problem.
I mean, everyone has doom scrolled.
Yeah, because earlier we used to see ads on a banner and then it vanished.
Yeah.
But now we are seeing ads all day.
All day, so every time. Oh my god. Yeah.
So it is just like, I think it's not the best strategy personally. But coming back to like music and stuff, and like because you talked about marketing, we talked about the business, we talked about being a kid and you know being clueless about the music thing.
Yeah.
How did you like discover about these music conferences and networking, and how did you like why are you still choosing to like do it at this day and age when it has gotten easier, it has gotten cheaper? Why are you still in the business?
So it's more, of course, it's my inner calling where as a what you can say, as a 15-16-year-old, when I discovered how to make music, it's the fascination also is what I'm good at, you know, and it's what comes to me innately. So that's why maybe I am in the business, and I want to, of course, grow it, like now that I have the studio now. So that is, of course, the business side of things. But yeah, I mean, that's what I know. So I know I can start somewhere there, or yeah.
Do you think after like 10 years still you are starting out? Do you still think like you're a learner every day?
I'm still 10 years in, but yeah, like there are so many more things to discover, like even from the talent that's coming out, like so many people, like okay, one of the people I admire is Karan Aujla. I'm sorry, I'm cursing, it's okay, you can beep it out. But like I mean, it's just like it's very inspiring to see also like younger talent, younger people like than me who are killing it. And yeah, I mean, I can just get inspired rather than, I mean, you can also compare yourself and all that, and do, you know, just go in the downward spiral, but rather than get inspired from like the boom
make something
out.
So how do you like plan on like you can see there are a lot of speakers, and if you see this behind me, this is a Dolby Atmos calibrated, like fully functional studio. This is 7.1.4, am I right?
7.1.4, yes.
So it's like a standard Dolby studio. So how do you firstly, what is the difference between like a surround sound and a Dolby sound? And how do you plan on like taking the industry forward and think like promoting this Dolby sound, and why is it necessary, pehle to?
So see, with the advent of Dolby Atmos, as we say, first I'm sure, like I mean, whoever the musicians or people in film sound, they know there was a 5.1 which is surround sound, and then there was a 7.1. So Dolby Atmos is more of an all-encompassing format where you can just mix it on Dolby Atmos and you can do a render of a 7.1 or a 5.1 from the Dolby Atmos.
Also, which means you can do a surround sound with a Dolby.
You can do a surround sound mix from a Dolby Atmos. Okay. You don't need to separately mix a surround sound 7.1 or a 5.1. Okay. So that's why, of course, like, so because there's a lot of you can say this is a we have calibrated for an OTT content room. So the basic plan for the thing is to get clients or people who can mix for OTT or for you can do ad work, which is here. We are basically in the Santacruz car area right now. So I mean, this is more predominantly an ad market kind of sort of thing. So also I have a dub room, which is a vocal booth. So we can do dubbings, we can do vocal recordings. So that's more, I'm trying to make a mix of a music studio as well as a mixing studio for film or OTT or whatever.
This is like a technical recording and mixing.
Technical, studio. Yeah. So I mean, like it's like a very versatile kind of room.
There's a control room, there's a vocal room.
Yes.
This is the mixing room itself.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, this is pretty great. So, but how do you like plan on like promoting Dolby? Because see, there's a pay parity. Because you cannot pay, like, I don't know if you know or not, but you cannot pay a surround mixer the same as you pay a Dolby mixer. If a surround mixer is obviously more known, so he'll get paid more, but like a Dolby mix is like, it has beds and it has like ultimate movement, unlimited movement you have. So it's a costly affair. So like, how do you plan on like attracting people to get there, like sounds dubbed in a way where it can be great with a Dolby mix? Because a lot of the stereo sound is, in my opinion, not great. Not everything is great in Dolby.
Yeah,
you gotta make it, like, you gotta put in information and then make it.
I mean, yeah. So as of course, like, we are still in the very you can say introductory stage of Dolby Atmos in music. You can say. So, but I'm sure, like, I mean, I'm you can see how it's picking up.
Yeah. So films, it is already
there. It's already there. It's been there for 10 years now. But yeah, I mean, like, even your Netflix and all, everyone is getting into immersive.
Yeah.
So I'm sure, like, the industry themselves are trying their best to get the best output for their sound and all. And as I said, like, once you get a Dolby Atmos mix, either it's stereo or a 5.1 or anything. In music, yes, like, of course, like, stereo is the best. I mean, you have to get your stereo mixes. But yeah, like, I mean, I'm sure music also, it will pick up. People are getting the hang of it. Yeah, that's about it. I'm sure, like, there is a lot of improvement in the Dolby Atmos side of things. But I feel for OTT and all, an aspect of this room, I feel getting OTT content more.
So you are more inclined towards
inclined to get towards film or OTT content here.
Opposite.
Music, of course, there will be there if anyone wants to do a music Atmos mix. Of course, that's also great. But Apple now like predominantly, But on the business side of things, I think Apple is asking for Atmos mixes to grow their immersive.
What Apple is doing here is, if you get them a Dolby mix, they pay you 10 times more.
Exactly. So that's the business side of things. Where, of course,
because you gotta pay the man who does it.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, great, great for the industry if everyone's making money. So let them make money.
That's good. So that's about it for like today, and like, we talked about our childhoods getting into music, we talked about all about music, we talked about networking, we talked about money in the music. If you like such content, follow us for more. And this studio where we are sitting is Krishna's studio. He's a very great friend, and he's soon going to be releasing the studio out to public. Right now it's a private thing, and come to the studio, hang a bit, play your stuff, get your demos done, meet the guy, and then decide if you want to record. Call him, make an appointment. Peace out. This is Dhruv. This is Krishna.